Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, August 9th edition of the Contributor Comms team meeting. A reminder, this meeting operates under a code of conduct, which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. Here at the beginning of the meeting, we like to offer an opportunity for anyone on the call to introduce themselves, totally optional. I will go first. I'm Caslin Fields. I'm one of the co-leads of this sub-project. And I'm also a co-chair of the Special Interest Group for Contributor Experience, which this sub-project is a part of. The charter or the mission of this sub-project, this meeting, everyone in this meeting, is to make sure that folks within the contributor community understand what's going on in the contributor community through communications, and also that folks external to the contributor community, like end users and the general public, know a little bit about the awesome work that contributors are doing through externally focused communications. Anyone else like to introduce themselves? Oh, and pronouns she, her. Haha.
Good job. Hey, y'all, I am Chris Short. I'm the other co-lead of this sub-project, Contributor Comms. I have been out the past 2 weeks because of work things, and I am just happy to be here today because that means I'm home this weekend.
And also means you get to see all of our wonderful smiling faces or names.
Yes. And my pronouns are he, him. Sorry. Go ahead.
My name is Smiling.
Yes. I believe it is.
BitLocker is not smiling at you back, though.
No, right. My name's Sylvester Carolan. I've been attending probably about 5 or 6 of these now, trying to get up to speed. I'm trying to kick off some mentoring projects if I get to it. But yeah, that's all for me.
Glad to have you. Anyone else? Totally optional.
Hello, my name is Ashraf, and I started recently trying to contribute in different Kubernetes projects. So that's all. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. We're glad to have you here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to introduce themselves?
Hi, I'm Mario. I am part of this subgroup and also ContribEx and SIG Infra. I work for Kubernetes and my pronouns are he, him.
Welcome. Anyone else? Totally optional.
Hi everyone, I am Akansha and I'm a developer advocate at Empathy Ops, and I'm also a CNCF ambassador. And it's been like a few weeks. I'm part of SIG ContribEx comms, and it's my first time contributing.
Welcome. Glad to have you. Glad to see you back. Anyone else? All right, then. We will move on from the introductions, but this is a very casual call, so if you want to pop in and say hello or ask any questions or anything anytime, please do feel free. One last housekeeping item before we move into the agenda. Oh, I was going to share my screen. Did I not actually share my screen?
No.
Oh.
It's okay.
Oh, it's like not actually working. I will not share my screen today.
Would you like me
to? No, I think we'll be okay. The link to the notes is in the chat, so please do join in on the notes yourself. It looks like I need to figure out some kind of setting before I can share my screen on the new computer. Anyway, one last housekeeping item before we move into the agenda. Would anyone like to be our note taker today? The job of the note taker is to listen into the conversation, both on chat and over voice and record what they get from the conversation in the notes, so that if anyone missed the meeting and they want to check back in later about what was discussed, they'll have the notes to check back in on for that. And other folks within the call do tend to kind of hop in and help out if they see something really cool that they want to make sure is recorded. But it's really good to have someone who is like assigned to it and trying to take things down throughout the whole thing. So would anyone like to be our note taker today? Also, you only have to do this during the
Chatting
discussion
part.
in this part of the
Yeah.
doc. There's also a board that we'll go over, which you don't have to take notes during. If there are no volunteers, I'll handle it myself.
I'm happy to take it out. Yeah, will do.
Oh, thank you.
Cool. Thank you for volunteering. We appreciate it. I'll record that for you. Cool. And with that, I think we will hop into our agenda. Configure my window there a little bit. Perfect. All right. So I put a couple of things in here that I wanted to discuss here at the beginning of the meeting. First thing, we mentioned, I think in the last meeting, that in the SIG ContribEx meeting, we had a really awesome discussion about enabling new contributors. And an idea that came out of that was not new contributor workshop, but was running a new contributor orientation meeting once a month. Well, twice a month, really, but in 2 different time zones. And the idea of this is to have a slide deck that is fairly consistent that anyone could give once they're a little bit familiar with the project, so that we can help prospective new contributors better understand the community and how to find work within the community and how to make the community work for them. So I have a draft deck that I created like last week or something like that. I've made a few updates to it this week. Mario is also contributing. Arvind has given some feedback, which was really helpful. Thank you, Arvind. And Sandeep is also on there, though I don't think that he's reviewed it yet. Chris, I need to add you into it since you were out. I didn't bother you about it,
No
but
worries. I
figured
would
you
have
would
got
like
buried
to as well.
otherwise, so thank you.
Yep. So I'll try to remember to do that after the meeting. So we're going to do like an initial round of reviews with a few folks who had mentioned interest and that they had some resources that they wanted to share in it. And then I would like to get a larger review from the group. The goal here is I would like to start running these in August, maybe toward the end of the month, or maybe at the very beginning of September or something like that. So I want to set a date for us to get some reviews from this group next week if we think that we can do that. Yeah. Any questions or comments about that?
Yeah, I also brought this to the other bi-weekly from ContribEx, so for the Asia room, and we discussed this there a little bit, and I asked also that anyone who's interested in joining or helping should ping basically you.
Perfect. Thank you for doing that. I'm hoping that this will be a group effort, that basically anyone with a little bit of experience contributing to the community, basically anyone who's at least ready to go for org membership, can help out with. Awesome. Thank you for doing that. This is kind of more of a SIG ContribEx level initiative, but I wanted to bring it up in this group because it is a form of content and it is a form of communication that goes to a very specific audience. So I want folks in this group to review that and be kind of involved with that. And also,
Yeah, of course.
our group
That
has some
sounds
nice
good.
projects. Yeah. Thank you, Sylvester. You're
Yeah.
also doing mentoring stuff, so I should have you review it too. And thought about
Yeah.
that.
And I've been doing stuff on the Minikube side, so I can kind of talk to that as well. Stuff I've learned.
Perfect.
Um,
Yeah. My hope is that we can get the content down to something that can be given in like 20 minutes, which is very ambitious. I kind of doubt we're going to get it at least at the beginning. But then any like personal stories or like FAQ things could go after the main content, is what I'm thinking.
Sounds good.
But I'll share that with you later.
I think we also should basically, once we have the date when we want to launch this, also announce it via the end user channel that we have, because that's basically our target audience, right?
Yep.
So that people are joining the project from the outside world.
Yeah, we had also mentioned one of our tasks in the board that we'll get to later is to promote the new contributor workshop content, which is online now. We had been waiting for GitHub workspaces, code spaces, whatever those are called, code spaces, to be available. Yeah, because they were going to integrate that into the new contributor workshop content so that folks could get hands-on with how to do PRs and stuff. But they never did get that integration finished. So we were just going to go ahead and at least tell people that the like reading content is available online. So we were saying that we should promote that alongside this new meeting. So there's a couple of things there. Good call out. Thank you, Mario. All right. Also, fun aside on the mentoring topic while I'm thinking about it, and since Sylvester is here, yesterday I thought of a cool idea for how we could like run a workshop at the KubeCon Kids Day for like kids to contribute to Kubernetes. My thought was to use something from this team, so it is kind of relevant. My thought was that maybe we set up an account or some accounts that are like already logged in on machines so that kids don't have to have GitHub accounts. But we have like a blog draft in GitHub, and we have the kids do a PR with their favorite thing that they learned from the Kids Day. And then we end up with a blog post of all of these statements from the kids about their favorite things that they learned. And so then they have contributed to Kubernetes. And they learn a little bit about Git.
A lot of fun. Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Cool.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe now's a good time to ask a couple of questions on the mentoring side of things from a communication standpoint. Do I need to open up an issue and put it on the board to change the site? I've been looking at the site, downloaded the repo for that site. I was going to make changes to it, and I think, well, hang on, I probably need a issue out there against it, right? On
Arcades.dev.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. So I'll set it, and it goes on the comms board, not on the contrib board, right? The main board. It goes on the communication. This meeting is part of this meeting because it's the website change, right? Not the other meeting. You following me?
Yes. We do theoretically kind of own Cades.dev stuff.
Yeah.
So that is a reasonable question to ask in here. I'm not super familiar with the website myself. I think it makes sense for you to, put in like an issue and a
Change
PR over there
because
if you want to change it yourself.
You go, right? It's just markup. So I could just take that down and
exactly.
Then, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you have any problems, let me know.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Chris.
You can also assign me for review or if you need help.
Oh, Mario, thank you.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Whatever you need.
Merry Chris.
Tag us.
I don't like asking questions in the chat for some reason too much in Slack. But yeah, no, thank you for that.
Thank you for asking. Responding. Sorry about that. All right. So I think that's it for new items. Thank you for letting me share that idea. We should also take down a note here. I'm gonna add one in about Sylvester wants to make some changes to the hates.dev site regarding the mentoring subproject. Yes, I would like to say that we're happy to help with that. We don't have a lot of folks who are super familiar with that site, though.
Well,
But
just
we are
the,
still happy
the
to help.
mentoring. Yeah, I mean, I've got it and I've had a look at it, so it looks like it's pretty straightforward.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're welcome to like tag us on the issues. We'll help review things.
That would be
If you
great.
need any
Yep.
guidance, if you're getting stuck on anything, let us know. We do have a few
Yeah.
folks who are pretty familiar.
Thanks, Casey.
I make Hugo sites in my sleep sometimes.
Yeah.
If only we could fix the versioning on that site.
Oh God.
This is a constant
That brings
issue
up a
that we
good point.
do
Like
at the
for
Contributor Summit.
my personal blogs, I've taken the tact of this theme works with this version. Fine. Done. I'm not going to change anything until I have to, which we could do, but I don't think there's any vulnerabilities that Hugo would expose as a security issue.
I think there was some reason that we needed to upgrade it. There were some like new features or something that was
I think
available on the newer
Doxy, the theme we
versions.
use, required the new version, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, there was some stuff in there for sure.
Yeah.
Because so Hugo is a static site generator. You can use a theme and apply that to Hugo, and then you have two things to manage, the Hugo version and the theme version. So the theme, Doxy, is made by Google and gets a lot of updates. So as we want to take advantage of those updates, we then have to update Hugo. And yeah, it's just kind of a mess. There's got to be a better way to do this in the future, kind of thing. So yeah.
We've run a working session on it. How many contributor summits now?
Jeez, all of them I've been to, I think. Except for the first one.
Yeah.
Can't we just open an issue for it? And
Not that simple. It's never that simple, sadly.
but why? It's just the versioning thing with the two components,
You would
right?
think
Just,
that, wouldn't you?
You would think it's just that, but no, there's like, so a theme has a lot of elements inside it, and because Hugo isn't, quote, stable, even though the world is using it far and wide, including like vote.gov here in the US is a Hugo site now. So if you update Hugo and it has deprecated some feature you're using, but you don't realize it, everything breaks. And sometimes you update the Hugo version and then new characters get inserted for some reason, like in my case. So yeah, it's not as
But-
easy as just updating both and off you go kind of thing.
But also beyond that, the particular issue with this is that we have a lot of customization in our Hugo site,
Mhm.
which is preventing us from being able to upgrade at all.
Yeah,
Okay.
like we need to sit down and think of how we can make this potentially modular with Go modules. I think is the right answer, but like I really want to get out of this business, to be honest. And yeah, unless there's features we need, I would be okay with not updating all the time, but that just makes it harder to update in the future. I don't know. We got to figure out our customizations. The way you do that is a whole nother directory structure inside the site, which essentially overrides the themes version of whatever thing you're working on.
Mm.
So yeah, like if you're working on something in the header, there's a unique file for the header extensions that you can throw in there and customize as you see fit, or just use the themes defaults. we have a lot of customization, which is unfortunate, but also at the time was necessary. So it's like pulling out customizations, putting in, other modules kind of thing that probably needs to happen. And that
Okay.
would take an enormous amount of effort, sadly.
Thank you for explaining.
Oh, no problem. It's been
Never simple, is it?
No,
Things
it
seem
never
simple in this.
is, right? And like, even if this were like WordPress, we'd still be having some kind of issue with updates, right? Because
Right.
every theme has different stuff, and you then customize it, and then now how do you update it? Yeah, so Hugo is interesting because it adds the layers of complexity, which are good because they're just static sites, but at the same time, they're also not good because they're hard to adjust. So yeah, it's always been an interesting challenge.
Thank you for
Another,
asking. Go ahead.
yeah, that's another feature that's been stuck because of Hugo was updating the Twitter icon on the site to X. I remember this because I raised an issue and we had to update the Doxy site, which required updating the Hugo version or something like that, and it's stuck since then. I think team followed up again, but unless we update the Hugo version, I guess that is stuck as well on the site.
I did not know that was what was blocking that. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to put it out there. I think based on the discussion on the GitHub thread, which I'll throw in the notes when I reach home. But yeah, I guess this was the conclusion that Toxie and Yoga is blocking this because we require a particular awesome font icon version that only works with a particular version of Toxie. So
Huh.
that was kind of what was blocking it.
Technology was a mistake.
Teaching sand to do math was a mistake. Yes.
Yep. All right. And with that, let's move on to updates and big wins. We're already halfway through our meeting. Want to make sure that we get into the board. There are a couple of big updates and big wins to go over as well. One is the Kubernetes IO guidelines PR should be up in the next week or so. So what this is we got access to the Kubernetes IO account on Twitter some time ago. This account is enormous and terrifying. And so we want to make sure that we have good rules in place and guidelines in place for how it's used and who is allowed to use it and in what ways. So we have created some guidelines between me, Chris, and Mario, and we are working on finalizing that initial draft, and then we're going to be asking for a wider review from all of you, and we'll put it into a GitHub PR. So that should happen within the next week or so. We've got it in a pretty good state right now. Wonderful. Next item then is I also have been saying that I need to do some updates to the social media handbook to clarify the process of being a shadow and what one needs to do in order to be ready to become a lead. I've been putting a lot of thought into that. I have some ideas. So I'm hoping to get a draft of that done in the next week and start getting some reviews on that. Just want to let folks know. Any questions about Kubernetes.io or social media stuff in general before we move into the board?
I will say that these guidelines have been helpful to more than just the Kubernetes project. Several other projects, when they start addressing social and they come and ask me, be it work or non-work related things, I point at these guidelines and say, this is what Kubernetes does. And then I describe the automation to them too for like the blogs and such. And everybody loves it and their eyes light up and they use it as a resource. So we're helping more than just Kubernetes here.
Kubernetes is such a large community and we get the opportunity to do so many cool things. We do end up being a really nice precedent that others follow.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
Yep.
All right, and with that, we are done with our notes. We are going to move into the board. Any last minute freeform discussion notes that folks want to go over before we go into the board? All right, let's do it then. Oh yeah, I can't share my screen still. I'm gonna gonna share the link. And
I'm going to
so
share
I've just
the
shared.
board.
Do you want to share the screen?
Yeah, I'll share the screen for the board. Hang on.
Cool. We will
Clicky sherry.
work together on this.
Yes. One big team effort. Ta-da!
Thank you. The
welcome.
main thing with the board is I like to click into the individual items so that folks can kind of see which one we're talking about. So good luck following
Yes.
that. This is honestly the harder
I
part
just have
than
to
sharing
listen
the
and click.
notes.
Yes. All right. This is
So
interesting.
let's start off with ready for review. The first one is the SIG API Machinery Spotlight article, which is Federico. Is he on today? Looks like
He
he's not
left some
on today.
comments for us. Yeah.
He's so good
He
about
left some
that.
comments though. Let me go grab
Champion.
those. Right. Oh my gosh. All right. So here we go. Weekly update even later than last week. Blah, 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 blah. SIG node published. SIG architecture enhancements got missing answers marked down ready. SIG architecture API governance interview with Jordan Liggett done. We'll need to transcribe things. SIG scheduling PR opened with a link. SIG security, no feedback on answers. Okay, so those previous four were green and the others are yellow that I'm reading now. SIG security, no feedback on answers. Blogging, shadowing guide, waiting approval. SIG API machinery, publication date passed, rescheduling, reviews are done. It just lacks final approval. And HCI robot closed these as complete somehow? Weird. Or is it just, this is the issue or the PR? This is the PR. Fun. SIG etcd, no feedback. SIG UI, steering, SIG docs, kubectl, all have names beside them asking questions.
Yeah.
So updated the list. Scheduling PR. I opened it based on your review. Okay, never mind. SIG apps is awaiting response to questions. SIG UI, no response still. And Arpit says he will work on kubectl 1 after SIG docs and steering 1. There you go. But why did this close? I have no idea.
Because the SIG API machinery spotlight PR was
out?
merged.
Okay.
It's right there below it in the board.
That, yeah. There we go. Merged.
Yep.
Done.
Yep.
Cool.
I saw that a new blog post came out this week. Was it that one? Check real quick. Yes. Yeah. The spotlight on SIG API machinery went out this week. So congratulations to Federico on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to, or you could do it. Would you like to have the honors of moving those two items on the board?
Love to. Two done and done.
Isn't it satisfying?
It does feel
so
good,
good.
yes. This looks like it's done too. Add SIG scheduling?
No, it would be purple if it was done.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Purple
All right.
done.
So
not green.
this is Arvind. Any updates on here, Arvind? I think it got stuck, and then I think it's ready for LGTM and approved now. Is that the status?
Yeah. Yeah, I think SIG docs reviewers are going to have to take a look at this. Other than that, I think I and Federico basically took a review of it, and it looks good. But they will take a review, and if somebody from here would like to take a review, everyone is welcome. I think after that, it's ready to be managed.
Wonderful.
Cool.
Thank you for seeing this through.
Yeah, this is great. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
first one, so feels good.
Yeah.
Awesome. And
Plus
it's coming
that-
out the 6th. That's good. So
That being said, as this one is going to get over, I would love to take some other spotlight as well. So
sounds good.
Frederico was in the process of reviewing which spotlights have been done and creating a list of those that have not. He had made some really good progress last week. I didn't touch it this week, but since he's out, I might go in and try to fix that up a little bit today because I want to get that done sooner rather than later. At least a preliminary thing, and Frederico can always adjust it.
Yep.
yes, I think working groups can also be done, right, for the spotlight box.
Yes. And none of those have been done yet. So all working groups are fair game.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of spotlights here.
Yeah. Wonderful. So excited that we're doing that. Thank you very much, Arvind, for pushing that through. I'm excited to see it entering the final stages of review.
Yes.
And I'll try to make sure that we have some more work ready. We've had a few folks looking to pick up SIG spotlights. I should do the spiel.
Yes.
Yes. So welcome anyone who is new to our group. One work item that is basically an evergreen item for us is the SIG Spotlight blogs. So the idea of this project is that a member of our group, a contributor, picks a special interest group within Kubernetes. Special interest groups are how the project splits up work into different focus areas. SIG stands for Special Interest Group. So the idea of these spotlight blogs is you reach out to that special interest group and say, hey, I'm from the comms team and we would like to write a spotlight blog about your special interest group. Who can I interview? And usually it's going to be the co-chairs or the tech leads of that group. And you create a Google Doc probably of questions that you want to ask them. Perfectly fine to not have any experience or to know nothing about that group. The idea is for you to help other folks learn about the group. So the idea is that folks reading your blog also will not know what this group is. So use that experience as someone who doesn't know in order to help others. So through this process, you learn about that special interest group. And you create a blog post, which will then be published on Kubernetes.io and K8s.dev. Kubernetes.io is our public-facing site for the Kubernetes project, and K8s.dev is the contributor website. And so you get a very public, nice contribution that folks can see, and you learn something about the project. So there are 24 SIGs, I think, and 6 working groups or something like that. So there's a good number. We try to do it so that we don't do a special interest group again within too close of a time period. I'm thinking we might have to reduce it. Our unspoken rule, apparently, unwritten rule, apparently, has been if it's been done within the last 2 years, maybe don't do it again. But we're going at such a clip now that we might have to adjust that.
Yeah, maybe.
But we'll see what we have available as Frederico and I are doing that audit. So
there,
like
there
I was
can
saying,
always
we're
be
working on
specific project blogs, right? Like we have these ones that talk about code organization, things like that. Like we can definitely start diving deeper into what the SIGs are doing actively right now, potentially. So yeah, there's a lot of room for growth here.
And sometimes we split a special interest group up into its sub-projects as well and do separate blogs on those. So there's a lot of flexibility with this, which is why it's an evergreen project. You can always say, I want to do a blog post, and we'll try to help you find a topic that you can do that on. So if you're interested in writing a spotlight blog, please let us know either in here or on Slack, and we'll help you find a project, a area of the project to write about, and we'll give you all the resources that you need to write that blog.
You too can have your name on the Kubernetes.io website. As you can see, here's Arpit's spotlight on SIG node. Awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do have the 2 different websites, .dev and .io. .io is more like public facing, .dev is more contributor facing. And when we do publish things, we try to do it in both places so that both audiences can get the knowledge. But sometimes there are things we just post to one or the other. Like the 10 years of Kubernetes post we did. All the release stuff goes to the main blog. Does it go to the .dev blog?
I don't know that it
I don't think
does,
so.
but also we aren't involved with that stuff, so.
Yeah, it's like double. There's plenty of people that can add things to the blog, not just us too. So yeah.
Any questions or comments about the blogging before we move on in the board so that we can try to get to more of it?
Right. Boy, there's a lot of spotlights.
Cool.
Nice.
Please reach
Awesome.
out to us on Slack or in chat or however you feel comfortable, and we'll help you if you want to get involved with blogging. All right, let's dive back into the board. Let's talk about in progress, or do you want to do blocked and waiting?
Nah, locked and waiting, we kind of know, right? Like,
Cool. Yeah.
I
I
mean,
kind of
I
leave
haven't.
those to after in progress if we get to them, and we have a lot of stuff in progress. Thank you, everyone, for being so ambitious.
Yes.
First one, buffer access audit.
You mentioned we needed to do like a working session at some point. We should probably try and do that next week. If you're around.
Now that you're back, I was saying while you were out, like Chris is out, we'll try to get together on it another time. So let's go ahead and move past that one. Sensitive communications process. There was something that was happening on that at one point, and that's why I moved it to in progress. I think Mario was going to do something. Oh.
Mario assigned it to himself on the 7th, and I'm looking at the doc. I'm not seeing anything in here, but I don't know if Mario touched this doc.
Yeah, I have something, but I have not put it into the doc. But it's still.
Cool.
So I hope to get something written when I'm traveling, actually, because that's the best time when I can write stuff.
Thank you for offering to get that out of the blocked and waiting column. Look forward to what you manage to do on it. And if you don't, then it goes back into the blocked and waiting column. It's what happens. Or one of us picks it up. We'll see. The next item is guidelines for sensitive end user impacting comms. It's just another version of the same thing, which had some additional resources and stuff in it. So we left it there. So I think I'll continue leaving it there for now, unless you want to adjust things.
Yeah, that's cool.
So the next item.
Promote new contributor workshop stuff 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Okay. New contributor orientation meetings. Cool.
Yes. We talked about that a little bit earlier in this meeting that we should create some social media posts and stuff about that.
Yes.
Cool. Next item, steering spotlight blog. That is Arpit, and I don't think he's on today. He also didn't provide any updates in Slack. I expect that one to get blocked a lot, though.
Yeah, probably.
That will be a long-running one. Let's go ahead and move on.
SIG UI spotlight.
Any updates on the SIG UI spotlight from Arujval? Is he on today? He's not on today. He did post an update in Slack saying that he hadn't gotten a response from them yet.
But fun.
Yeah, he seems to be having a lot of trouble getting a response from them. I wonder if they are the group that I had heard about getting spun down. That's important for us to know if so.
Wait, that was getting spun down? The spotlight?
No, there was some, I don't think it was that group. There was apparently a group at one point in the project that did like user research. And they did a talk at a KubeCon, and I watched it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Can't believe we have this. And then we didn't. So, and the Slack channel is active. So they're just not being
Okay.
helpful to us. I might ping them, see if being a co-chair of a different SIG gets us a little bit more traction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe.
So we can move on past
Right.
that one.
SIG architecture spotlight. Wait. Isn't this done-ish?
That one's one of the multi-part ones. He broke it into all of the
Yes.
sub-projects.
Yes.
So that's why
Okay, let's do it.
he had some updates on those, I think, in his updates. Yes, SIG architecture enhancements, working on final touches to the markdown. SIG architecture API governance, started the review of the video interview. He did a video interview for
Wow.
that one.
Mm,
So those are the only two pieces left, it looks like,
cool.
judging by his
So,
updates.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Next
awesome.
one is the SIG etcd spotlight article, which is also Frederico. He said no feedback was his update on that one.
Yeah. Waiting for answers. Okay.
But I think also some news there. SIG TCD is now moved into the Kubernetes org, so they are now, I think, officially merged completely.
Cool.
Yay.
They have
The big benefit for
remerged.
the contributors.
Just for
Yeah,
everybody's sake, etcd was so big at one point and so vital that it split off into its own completely separate like CNCF project. They used to use the Kubernetes infrastructure and everything. So they spun it off, did a bunch of really hard work on it, and now that it's kind of in a steady state, it's back under the Kubernetes structure for various reasons, including, to make use of the tooling like Prow, Tide, all that stuff. Yeah.
we have a strong community, which is awesome and exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So the next one is SIG Apps Spotlight, which looks like it's Sundaban.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sandapan assigned himself last week. Okay. Initial responses and some remaining. Waiting response to some remaining questions. Okay.
Gotcha. Cool. Seems like he's making some progress there then.
Yeah.
SIG
Docs.
Apps. Oh,
Docs are apps.
Frederico didn't even include that in his weekly update.
That's okay.
I'm going to mention that real quick.
So questions to be sent next week is the last update from last week. So hopefully they've been sent.
Cool. So this one is SIG Docs with Arpit.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. And there are
SIG
no updates in
Docs.
Slack either.
Yeah. No. And that's fine, right? Like
Looks like it's moving.
Yeah.
All of these processes are in place to help you get your work done.
Or remind you of your limitless to-do list. Take your pick.
Yay.
Yay.
kubectl Spotlight. Arpit had some content on this that he was working on, so I encouraged him to do this. It might take him a little bit to get onto that. He said that he would like to do it
Yeah,
after apps.
Yeah, doing it
and
after apps
docs.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's particularly
Ye-
relevant to some stuff that he was working on, so he's kind of reserved it.
Cassian, you forgot to review my issue, which was the Gates Infra Spotlight. It was above.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, did we
this-
skip it? Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry.
No worries. So I had drafted all the questions and I had sent to Mario for review. So there was just one question which I'm struggling with, which was based on the budgeting. So I think I will have to reiterate it. And if Mario approves it, I will send the questions to the Gates Infra group in this week itself.
Exciting.
They are expecting questions because I've talked to Caleb, who's the person who posts the budget updates in the SIG Kate's Info channel. So Caleb and Ryan are the two specific ones that I would reach out to for that. Like, make sure they're CC'd. I think.
Yeah, but they are more for the so that's something that we probably should now clarify. because
Mhm.
Caleb and Ryan are there when it comes to the budgeting topic. But for the general questions regarding SIG Infra, it would be Arnaud, Dims,
Ben,
and
Arnaud, yeah.
exactly, and Mohammed.
Mohammed, yes.
So we should clarify. So the idea originally was like two topics. One is the spotlight, and one is so. And I'm not sure who's doing what exactly.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
So
we
did
discussed
we-
that a little bit last week. And I think we decided we aren't sure if they're going to be separate blog posts or not, but talk with Concha about what she's going to focus on.
Mhm.
I can like send the questions doc link in the Slack or here, like if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
so
works.
I mean,
Sounds good.
you add the link just to the issue so that people can basically have a look in the issue. And because currently the questions I would put more in a general SIG infra, so they sound more like SIG infra specific questions, not so much. There was only like one budget question. So
Yeah.
the direction that you designed your questions, which is perfectly fine, is more like a SIG infra spotlight, which we also are still missing. And if you feel more comfortable doing this, go for this, because the other topic is, I would say,
think-
hard, complicated, and biased.
I think we want your opinion, Mario. Should Akansha adjust her questions so that they include the budget stuff, or do you think it would be more appropriate for that to be separate?
I would put it separate.
Okay.
That's my honest opinion. I would put it separate. I would just ask like, what is currently going on there? What is the SIG actually doing? What different parts do they have? And when you have a look at the PR for the yearly report, you see that a lot of new projects run up inside of SIG Infra, and alone this is worth talking about in the spotlight.
Yeah.
okay, so like I can remove that budgeting and multi-cloud migration questions and rather just focus on the SIG infra in depth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Cool. Okay. That sounds good.
Thank you very much for calling that out, Akansha. And thank you, Mario, for your input on that. I've created a separate item in the to-do column of our board about the budget blog.
Probably
And
should
I'm-
have done that a while back, but yeah, thank you.
Well, we were debating if it was going to be the same one or not.
Oh, true.
Yeah. About budget in SIG Cates Infra.
Oh,
Okay, I'm adding a comment to the issue as well. And Akansha, yes, please do share that doc with the questions. You can share
in
it
the
here
issue
or
itself or in the Slack.
wherever.
Okay.
I would recommend
Wherever
share
you
it
feel
in all the
comfortable.
places.
yes, like multi-spectrum and notifications are good.
Okay.
We are the comms team. We believe in comms everywhere.
Sprinkle it everywhere. Hopefully people answer.
And I see that Sandeep has an update in the chat, so let's go ahead and go to his. Sandeep is working on a spotlight on the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Working Group.
Oh,
Would you like to
nice.
tell us about it, Sandeep? He has put, the link in the chat, and Chris has it open here. So if you're interested in that, if you want to review those questions, if there's anything you want to learn about the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Working Group and the work that they do contributing throughout the CNCF ecosystem, and especially in Kubernetes, then...
One second. No,
Hello.
so just I just wanted to run down the questions with Catherine before I share it with everyone. Okay, just to make sure she's comfortable answering them and if she wants anything changed, I'm happy to change. Okay, she's actually on leave today, so maybe I think I'll catch her on Monday. And if she's fine with that, then I'll share it with the group.
Cool. That works.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome
So,
stuff.
like, Kathleen, so with whom should I share and how do I share these questions? Like, should I put it in SIG ContribEx or how do I go about it?
I would say ContribEx comms if you want additional reviews. Ooh, it didn't get that very well. ContribEx comms.
I can just type it.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Or
I can just
actually, I'll
ask,
put a link.
I can just ask Chris and he can share it with the group then.
Sure. I will drop it in.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Feel
Yeah.
free to ask our group for whatever reviews you would like.
Yes, yes, yes.
Perfect. Any other? Go ahead.
Yeah. And Kathleen, I don't have access to the board, so can you grant me access?
Yes, by getting you org membership.
Yes.
Okay.
He's already reminded me twice to do that.
Do we need a PR? What do we need there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, 2 sponsors. So
No
I'm
problem.
happy to be one of the sponsors. So
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got plenty of
Yeah.
sponsors.
Thank
Alright.
you.
Sandeep.
Thank you.
Sandeep, I did put the docs
Yeah.
about how to apply for org membership in our comms contributor
yeah.
summit chat. Yeah. So look over those and we just need to create a PR. I don't actually know how to do it. I'll have to look at those
I can do it.
instructions
Don't
as
worry.
well.
I can do it after the meeting's done.
That would work. Thank you.
Yep. No problem.
All right. So we'll get that done this week.
Hopefully, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing it up again and for doing so much awesome work.
No problem. Happy to work, happy to learn. Thank you.
Yay.
Awesome.
And we only have 2
question.
minutes left. Go ahead.
Sorry. Why do I have access to the board even though I'm not an org member? I mean, by access, do we mean the ability to edit and move around the drafts, or just being able to see the board?
Yeah, being able to move around the drafts and things.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, the board
you
is
can't-
public facing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let me edit this and say
Yes, please.
8-09 questions shared group need to get Sandy org membership.
And his next step is he's going to share those questions with Catherine from the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Working Group.
If I could spell today, that would be great.
Perfect. All right. And we only have 1 minute left. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Just one small question. Is it okay to do it in 2 parts? Like first with Catherine and then with the shares of the group?
Absolutely. However you'd like to organize it works for us.
Yeah.
We're excited to have the content.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you, because I don't want it to be too long. Yeah, so I thought to split into 2 parts.
That sounds wonderful. I'm
Wow,
down for
that's
more
awesome.
of this.
Heck yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And we are now at time. Do you want to scroll through that in progress column to see if there's anything key that we missed?
Notify comms when a new issue is missing. Guidance for usage of Kubernetes IO. Didn't Mario give us something on that?
Yeah, we talked about that in the notes
Yeah.
section.
Okay. Cool.
AI rules. Mario's making some good progress on that. Thank you very much.
The
on
new
for that.
issue to review. and I worked in Chris requested changes, so somebody can basically review it, and then we could merge.
Cool. All right.
And then the shadow structure, which we also talked about in the
Right.
open conversation section. Awesome. So I will keep folks updated on Slack, as I'm sure Frederica will as well, as we get that list of available SIG spotlights set up.
Mhm.
If you are interested in running one, please do also let us know, though. I have at least one person waiting for that list. If there are more, I want to make sure that you get it when it's available.
Nice.
All right. And with that, we are a minute over. Any beyond last minute items for the recording? Otherwise, I will stop the recording. And I do have a meeting after this, so I can't really hang out today,
Okay.
sadly.
Yeah. I've got a pile of work to do, so yeah.
Any last minute items? Last call. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining today. You're all doing amazing work, and you amaze me every week.
Precisely.
We'll meet up again next week, and I'll see you all on Slack.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.